All right, be back. More serious sports talk. Better late than never. I'll drop the prediction video tomorrow, probably tomorrow morning. Not sure, but it won't be Tuesday, so I want to kind of see the injury list and all that stuff. But the Lions lose, I'm still gonna grind it out. They win, I'm gonna continue to grind it out regardless. So, I read an interesting article today, and I couldn't really put videos up earlier. I've been busy. But one of the arguments I seen was Mike Valenti, and I didn't read the story at the time of the draft. Apparently, the Lions were split on who to draft at number 3. Patricia wanted Derek Brown. The personnel, the scouting department wanted Isaiah Thomas, or they wanted Tua, and Bob Quinn wanted Jeff Okudah. And the story goes, according to Mike Valenti, is that Bob Quinn overrid all of them and said, "I'm gonna take Jeff Okudah at number 3." So neither the head coach or the scouting department wanted Jeff Okudah at number 3. Let's talk about it. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video. Appreciate the love, support, everybody showing the channel. Keep sharing the videos. And I can see that happen. I think that happened a lot more did not. Now I can see if Caldwell was here with Bob Quinn and, they differed on the player that they wanted. Then that makes sense. Caldwell was a guy that didn't come from, wasn't Bob Quinn's choice. But when you bring a guy in that you love and that you boys with, you bring in Matt Patricia, and then you get up here and y'all got a difference of opinion. He wanted Derek Brown at number 3. You wanted Jeff Okudah. Now, I'm not sure how Derek Brown is doing down there in Carolina. I think Carolina is, 0-2 right now. Didn't they lose to the Raiders? Yep, and they lost to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this week. But I do know Isaiah Thomas got a worse, Pro Football Focus rating than Jeff Okudah. Okay, and Isaiah Simmons was a guy that didn't have a position, and it's not good coming to the NFL not having a position. And the Cardinals, they got a good defensive defense. Chandler Jones, Buda Baker, Patrick Peterson. So I don't know if he's just struggling with the position they giving him, or it's gonna take him a while to get his feet wet. We got to see with Isaiah Simmons, but apparently 2 weeks in, people saying, "See, I told you they shouldn't have took Isaiah Simmons. His Pro Football Focus stats or his deep analytics stats is worse than Jeff Okudah's." And okay, they can have a laugh now, but down the road we'll see. But also the staff wanted Tua. It was some talks that Tua didn't want the Lions to draft him anyway, but the scouting department wanted Tua or Isaiah Simmons, and then you got the head coach wanting Derek Brown, and then you got the general manager overriding everybody and wanting a cornerback. Now, would Derek Brown been any better? You can't take Derek Brown at number 3 because he wasn't a good pass rusher. So it's not like taking Gerald McCoy 3 or taking Ndamukong Suh 2 overall. It wasn't the case. He was more of a guy that was going to stop the run and do this and that. And people said, well, we got problems stopping the run, CJ. That's true, but you don't take a run stopper in the top 5. You just don't. You got to take a guy that's twitchy, that can get after the passer from that, defensive tackle position. And Derek Brown just wasn't that guy. You know what I'm saying? And that became the issue right then and there, that they had to kind of disconnect with, with him and, a few other guys. And, overall, what I would have took Tua at number 3. You get up there in the top 5, quarterback, pass rusher, or, left tackle, or a good offensive lineman, left tackle. So that's just the rule of thumb when you get up that high. Now, there are exceptions to the rules. Lawrence Taylor, Barry Sanders, Calvin Johnson, guys of that nature. You know what I'm saying? Saquon Barkley, Ezekiel Elliott. Those guys are pretty special. But it doesn't surprise me that there's a difference of opinion when it comes to a big decision like this. It doesn't surprise me. You can tell just the way they drafted that, it just don't seem like they all on board. You sit here and just take a deeper look at it before we talk about Matt Patricia, saying it wasn't true. You get here and you draft TJ Hockenson, right? Hockenson you draft the tight end number 7, but you don't utilize him. Even in his second year when he's better, faster, stronger, he's elite. You can tell he got an elite look in his eye. You don't have a plan to use him. Okay, you draft Frank Ragnow. It worked out beautiful. All right, we will give him credit for that. But you draft Tavai. He wasn't even originally starting this year. You draft Julian Okora in the 3rd round this year. He was a healthy scratch this week. We can keep going on and on and on. You draft Will Harris. He terrible. So they drafting guys and they don't even have a plan for him. Logan Stenberg, we talked about that last night on the live. It's a guy that, made the team. They cut Obashe, whatever his name is, brought Obashe back to start over Logan Stenberg. That don't make no sense at all. You bring Jesse James here. This is not a draft thing. You bring Jesse James here for what? $25 million, whatever it was. You don't have a plan for him. So obviously, the general manager, the business side, the general manager, front office, the coaching staff, there's a disconnect in the scouting department. You can just tell by the way they draft. The way guys get drafted here and they don't plug and play. Third round picks not playing. Second round picks not starting in their second year. You know, there is a disconnect. They give Quadre Diggs a big contract, you dig? You give him Quadre Diggs, you dig? You dig? You give him a contract. Oh, Matt Patricia, I don't like this guy, trade him. What? Make no sense, right? Like I said before, they all not on the same accord, and that's the issue with the Detroit Lions. It's a huge issue. You can tell there is some schisms in there between the department. The scout department actually had it right. They should have took Tua Tagovailoa. They should have took Tua, and they didn't take Tua, and they probably gonna regret not drafting Tua. But Matt Patricia, in a press conference, I guess a media member asked it, and he said it wasn't true, and I believe it is true. He said Mike Valenti said he got it from a great source inside the Detroit Lions organization. I'm gonna trust Valenti on this one because what history tells us is they pay Quadre. Matt Patricia don't like him. You draft Tavai, he still ain't starting in his second year. No, you played Jesse James. You don't even have a spot for him. You draft Hockenson after paying Jesse James. You can't even utilize him the right way. Come on. You draft Jeff Okudah, the most obvious one in the room. You draft Jeff Okudah, he ain't even ready to start. He got to start because of injuries. And I don't believe it was a hamstring neither. I don't believe it was no hamstring, just between me and you. I just believe that he wasn't ready to play. Because Matt Patricia's defensive line wasn't good enough to come in here for a rookie cornerback to survive in this league. That's why he wanted to draft Derrick Brown. And the personnel scout department told you what they think. Oh, Tua. Matthew Stafford ain't that good. We see it. Why don't you see it, Bob? Why don't you see it, Matt? Oh, we see it, but Sheila Ford won't let us get rid of Matthew Stafford. Now, 2 weeks into the season, everybody called for Stafford head after 11 years of getting the pass. I told you guys what it was. The scout department know what's up. They got it right. Get the quarterback in here because Jeff Okudah ain't going to help us. Our last year first round pick ain't really helping us to make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Your second round pick last year ain't making a difference in Tavai. You drafted the Bryant kid out of Clemson. What is he doing? He ain't even got on the field yet. You gave away our best defensive players in Quadre Diggs, Glover Quinn, and Darius Slay. Oh, we might as well start rebuilding with a quarterback. That's what they said last year. We this high. I get high. Every year I get high. They got all these high draft picks, and guess what? At least Mark Mayhew made the obvious pick. Matthew Stafford and Dominican Sue, Calvin Johnson. Here come Bob Quinn trying to reinvent the wheel. Couldn't trade down and get Brown or get Okudah. Didn't want to trade Tua, the obvious choice. Now you in a situation where you got Jeff Okudah. Now he looking bad. Now your track record looking bad drafting. It's looking bad. You talking about Hockenson, Okudah, Okura, Julian Okura, Logan Stenberg. He's looking bad. Will Harry, he terrible. He bad. He garbage. And that's just the truth. So I can tell there's a divide. You can just tell by how the players are. They drafted and how they utilize in the defense. Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, they don't share the same. They don't share the same philosophy. And just because they homeboys, they gonna sink together. I think Bob Quinn and Jim Caldwell had a better rapport than Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn. And Bob Quinn, he said, I don't talk. Yeah, you better not talk. What can you tell us about this season? How would you tell us and everybody in this world can see our front seven garbage? You keep putting trash and trash on top of that. Only the good optimists, Danny Shelton is going to be a beast for us. Shit, if he was a beast, he'd still be in New England, right? Especially for the price we got him. So I believe it was some issues and some differential opinions on who to draft at number 3. The scouting department got it right with Tua. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I believe that to be true. Don't forget you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out anytime you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. All my social media links are in the description. So if you ever got a question, whatever you got, I'm gonna holler back at you as soon as possible. or at my convenience. Want to make a donation, just share the video. But if you want a donation, make a donation. Cash App, $CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Let me know what you guys think one time for the one time we go.